Recording in progress. There, I did it twice, just for a second. All right.
Gives you a good start point.
That's right. Is everybody ready already?
Yes.
Indeed.
All right. Let's hit it. Hello, and welcome to our humble little podcast. This is Atlantis Sector Park, the greatest place in all of cyberspace. I like my sex like I like my guard coat. Pinky. I'll tell you what, I'm ready to go. You guys are too. But let's not waste a whole lot more time. Let's get right into it, and let's meet today's All-Stars. Warming up in the bullpen. He loves alcohol so much he got a job as a bartender. Last week, this incredibly gorgeous woman walked right up to him and asked in a real sexy voice, "Are you the manager?" He went, no. She starts stroking his face with her hands, and she pulls him closer and she says, "Can you get him for me? I really need to talk to him." And she starts stroking his hair and putting her fingers on her lips and putting her fingers in his mouth in a real sexy way. And he's like, he's not here right now, but maybe there's something I can do for you. And she says, "Yes, there is. Tell him there's no soap or toilet paper in the women's restroom." It's BIFF by Adam West. What's happening, pal?
What's going on?
That's what we call a bad day at the office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe a good day, depending. I mean, I'm not here to kink shame. Anyways, damn glad to have you here for the fabulous episode that awaits us today.
Glad to be here.
Next up, he is the Sorcerer Supreme of cyberspace. Last week, he got a job driving a hearse for a funeral home, and he was transporting a coffin when his car broke down. At first, he tried to fix it himself, and he got covered in dirt and oil, but then he gave up and called a mechanic. But the mechanic told him it'd be at least 3 hours. Well, he decided he's not waiting that long. He's going to pull the coffin the rest of the way by himself. Well, pretty soon, a cop drove by and said, "Hey, what are you doing with that coffin, and where are you going?" By this point, he'd had enough, and he looked at the cop and said, "I didn't like where they buried me, so I'm moving." It's Retpmus. What's happening, pal?
Same old, same old. Just glad to be here. Ready to have a good time.
The Stroll of the Undead. I'm
Yeah.
sure it would have been better if you had showed that. Well, never mind. That cop who's.
That was still good.
Anyways, yeah. Not all are winners. I tried.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. I mean, it
Oh.
wasn't like a laugh out loud funny, but it was comical.
It was more cerebral. Yes, thank you.
It makes you smile. That's all that matters.
It was
Yeah,
a cerebral.
It made me smile, and that's all. Like Sekju said, that's all
here,
matters.
So on that trend, maybe this is going to be terrible too. We're glad to have you back on the show today, pal. Up next, he's the gangster of ganja. The other day, I caught him putting laxatives in his weed brownies, and I said, "What the hell is that for?" And he said, "For shits and gigs." Welcome, sir.
That is accurate.
Stay regular and get high at the same time.
Yeah, right. I mean,
There you go.
and sometimes it's not always laxative. Sometimes you put extra fiber in there if you want to keep things regular too.
Right. A little bit of Metamucil.
Yeah, it's strange what you put in your weed brownies once you turn 40. I'll tell you what.
Oh, tips and tricks from Sekju later, folks. Later this episode on Double AD. Well, welcome one and all to today's fantabulous episode of Double AD. And I don't want to wait any longer. Let's get right into it. Let's get into some DC content. Okay, folks, in your estimation, and this is the coup de grace today. I don't know how to put it that, but the topic du jour, the question of the day is, in your estimation, what is the worst DC comic book villain portrayal, and what is the best DC comic book villain portrayal in film? And that counts for animated as well as live action. And I am going to pick on Retpmus because he made a contention about it last week on our unrecorded episode. But Retpmus, why don't you go ahead and give us your pick first, buddy? I'm curious about this.
Best or worst?
Let's go with the worst first. We'll say the best for last.
The worst portrayal I would have to give to definitely Mr. Freeze, Batman and Robin, done by
Oh.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh,
That is not Mr. Freeze. That's just a big, huge star at the time trying to bring in cash for the movie, playing a character he should not play. If he was going to play a character, it would need to be someone, like Bane or something like that to represent his physical stature, because that just it was just completely wrong. The acting was bad as well for it. He was trying to play it like as a monotone character to be like, Mr. Freeze, but it just did not work. But of course, that's my opinion. There might be people out there that absolutely love it, but I think that one was the worst portrayal of a supervillain ever. Now, Arnold's had fantastic movies and he's even did great acting in some of them, but this one was just thumbs down.
Yeah, no, I think they brought Arnold in because they like him to quip one-liners and not much else. And of course, Arnie brought his friends in, Jesse Ventura and so on and so forth. They gave them small roles. But yeah, I tend to agree with that. I don't think he's the worst. I can see the camp value in it. Actually, out of that whole film, he's probably one of the best things about it, in my humble opinion.
That's a fair point.
But you have to really be a Batman fan to like that movie. And I guess I'm just not there. But
I mean, if there was nothing else to watch, I could sit and watch it. It's not but
yeah. I mean, that's right up there with Superman 4, The Quest for Peace for me. That's just garbage.
Because I think, what was it? I think his name's Chris O'Donnell. He played an excellent Robin in that.
Oh, sure he did. He always did a good job.
Yeah.
And I think the camp factor of that movie kind of makes it entertaining in a certain way. Like the whole Poison Ivy becoming Poison Ivy sequence. And I even forgot, I watched this fairly recently because I think we were talking about our worst movies that we were doing a few episodes back. And isn't it, I think it's John Glover plays like the scientist. Yeah, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't realize he was in this. So it's like, there's some decent people in this movie. And it's so awesome. Like the hammy performances, like the ham-fisted delivery that they all give. It's so intentional. And I think if you appreciate it for what it is and what it's trying to be, then it is a very entertaining movie because it's just fun and stupid fun. So, but I agree, it's not a good movie, but I enjoy it though.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. That's why some people like crappy ice cream, I guess.
Exactly.
I'm kidding. All right, pal. I think I think we can all live with that pick. I don't think anybody would disagree with that too much. I want to get Sekju's take though. Who is your worst DC comic book villain portrayal in film?
Well, I had one last time and I decided to change it because I was, again, watching DC movies. And I'm sitting here and realizing that as I watched the originals, the first Suicide Squad, the Enchantress, I've got nothing against Cara Delevingne personally, but her portrayal of the Enchantress is just terrible. And I'm not an Enchantress authority. Maybe somebody can hop on the Talk With Us channel and school me on Enchantress and whether or not that was an accurate portrayal. But my limited exposure to Enchantress, she's nothing like that in the comics. And beyond that, like, it was just weird. It like took you out of the moment. Like every time she's casting a spell, she's also doing a belly dance. Like what is up with that? Like it was just weird.
See, that's the part I was going to say that I actually liked about her character, because she was a foreign entity in a human body and kind of like didn't really know how to control the movements of the body. So it wasn't like it was kind of like she was twitching at each angle, trying to get her bearings. And I think that's what she was trying to portray, that this something else was, inside of her controlling her, and maybe she was trying to resist that, and it was that battle and that struggle, and that's why there was the jerking movements left and right as she was moving. That's what I got out of it. But it's just I
Well, that's again, everybody's allowed to like what they like, Retpmus. You don't
Yeah.
have to justify it, but
No, I'm just
yeah,
saying that's why I got the where you were mentioning the belly dance. That's
yeah,
where
yeah.
that's what I assumed from that portrayal, because why else would she be moving like that for no reason? Except the supernatural entity is, controlling the body, but yet she's still in there.
Maybe she's caught in a disco groove. You don't
Oh,
know.
but isn't she also a supernatural entity that's been around on Earth for thousands of years and has
Yes.
possessed multiple people and should probably know how to pilot a human being by now, I would think. I mean, again, I don't know. I just thought that was part of her backstory.
Yeah, but this is a modern woman. Come on now.
This is Dr.
Aren't-
fucking
aren't-
June Moon, motherfuckers.
That's right. She's trying to shake.
Aren't
it up.
belly dancers enchanting?
That is a
Yes,
good point.
that's
okay.
true.
I think belly dancers are enchanting.
That's
That's
accurate.
their whole gig.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still every time I watch that movie though, her scenes take me completely out of that movie. It's like I'm no longer watching a comic movie. So
I can't help it. I just like her.
that's okay.
By the way,
I like her in other stuff. I think she's good in other stuff. I just thought
Yeah.
that one was a bit of a dud for her.
Yeah, she's good. But
What was that one movie that she played in that it didn't do very good at the box office? Maybe like Valerian or
Yeah, Valerian and something of a thousand, City of
yeah,
a Thousand Worlds.
but you know what? I thought that was a fantastic movie.
I
I
liked
really
it.
did.
And I thought she was really good in it too.
She was. She was. I know we're getting off track, but
yeah, I was going to ask, is this a DC film?
No, but it's kind of sci-fi fun, and most
it's
DC
very
fans
good
probably
movie.
enjoy it. Dane DeHaan is the lead actor, I think, isn't it? His name, or
I believe so, and it has Rihanna in it as well.
it's quite a yeah. It's decent. I don't know. I would recommend you check it out. AD.
I just it's if you remember Chronicle, do you remember the movie Chronicle? The guy that played the lead in Chronicle that made the camera follow him and got all the powers and was fighting against all the other guys that had lesser powers. It's the same guy that's the lead actor.
Okay.
But it's a great movie.
That's a good reference, but I was thinking, he plays Harry Osborn in the second set of Spider-Man.
Yes, yes, he does.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes, same actor.
The easier comic booky reference.
Yeah,
Although Chronicle's a good one. I love Chronicle. I wish
I do too.
they said they were going to do a follow-up to that, and it never happened.
Michael B. Jordan's in it too.
Yeah, shit, yeah. Damn, Retpmus. I'm going to go watch that later.
I loved it. I mean, it
Damn,
was
I
great.
didn't know Sekju loved Michael B. Jordan so much.
No, I think he's a very talented
You got
actor.
really excited there.
It's just a lot of good people in that movie, and I didn't even realize it. But I haven't seen it in a while, and I'm gonna go
Well,
watch that.
well, it's just like, I know we're getting sidetracked, but I just want
Yeah.
to bring this point up real fast. It's like a lot of movies that you've seen in the past that was just an okay movie to you. But then now you watch a movie and someone becomes a superstar or something, and then you're flipping through and like, oh, I remember that old movie. And you're like, oh crap, that person's in there. I didn't realize that. And then you go back and watch it, and you're like, damn, there he is, It was Chadwick Boseman. He was in Gods of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I never knew. I mean, I knew, but I didn't realize that was him
Right.
back then watching it. And then, I was flipping through and I was just like, oh, I like Gods of Egypt. I love Egyptian stuff. So I just clicked on it, watch. I was like, I completely didn't realize he was there. So it's just like, because he wasn't a super popular name at the time when that came out.
Very true. But for what it's worth, Biff, I am a huge fan of the Creed movies. I think they're an excellent follow-up series to the original Rockies, in my opinion.
Okay.
Let's get back to some DC shit.
Yeah, so but for all those reasons, I'm not a huge fan of the Enchantress portrayal in the Suicide Squad.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Michael B. Jordan should have played Enchantress.
There you go.
Kidding.
Bet you he would have had a sexy belly dance.
All right, let's move on. I want to hear Biff's take. I'm curious. I wonder if it's going to be a Batman villain or what here. I'm curious.
Yeah, it is going to be a Batman villain.
Okay.
And oddly enough, like to just comment on Retpmus's, you have to really do a bad job to have Arnold Schwarzenegger not work in a real live action movie. and they did pull it off. So I agree with you there, Retpmus. And oddly enough, I am going to the same movie
Ooh.
as Retpmus, different villain.
Ooh.
I think in Batman and Robin, the portrayal of Bane was so fucking awful.
True.
Yeah.
That's
I
true.
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
hated it. I mean, this is a high intellect villain that they just made into a fucking meathead.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
made no sense. It had no correlation with the actual character Bane in the world. They just basically put like a Bane costume on Frankenstein. I mean that was
Yeah.
basically what they did, but it had nothing to do with the real comic Bane. And I thought it was just goofy and stupid.
Yeah.
I can completely agree with that.
I can
I
get on
can't
board with that
disagree.
too. Yeah, that was terrible.
I
Yeah,
can't.
it was the first thing that came to mind. Believe me, I have 3 honorable mentions in both categories that maybe I could go through very quickly at the end. Not give any I won't give any color for the sake of time, but the 3 I have in each, you don't even need to talk about. My 3 honorable mentions.
Well, after AB gives his pick for
Yeah.
worst, I'd be curious to hear your honorable mentions for
Yeah.
worst, and then we can save your
Okay.
best for that
Yeah.
later too.
Yeah. When it comes to my worst, I mean, and I'm not even a huge fan of this entity in comics, but I know enough about it to know that they completely dropped the ball with this one. And it was one of the larger parts of why the film failed and why they probably will never get to do another Green Lantern film in the future, and that's Parallax. Um, you know, Parallax, you guys help me out. What is Parallax supposed to do? His whole function is what?
He's the embodiment of fear. He's like an entity of fear
Right.
that's supposed to possess, like, typically a ring bearer, like a
Yeah.
Green Lantern user or something like that, but
Right.
often has possessed just whomever. Because one time he possessed Gambit even, so that's a
Yeah.
guardian. But basically, he inhabits the body of another being and then gives them control over fear, more or less.
Right.
Mastery over fear, with the ability to create hard light constructs just like a Green Lantern.
Sure, sure. But he's never done it to Hector Hammond.
Fuck no, no.
No,
No.
no. And it didn't create a different supervillain. And he's not some gaseous entity that can just fart his way across. And
Honestly, Hector Hammond, there's another shit portrayal. Good
that was
call.
another ship betrayal. And he came close. He was this close too. Either one of them are really, really fucking bad.
Yeah.
He was probably second or third on my pick. I had Nuclear Man too, but Nuclear Man and Superman 4 was terrible. But getting off track. The point is,
For Mark
no,
Pillow.
Parallax was anything but compelling. I mean, Hal Jordan beat him by throwing him into the frickin' sun. What a stupid, stupid way to. There was no climax. It was just there's it. Okay, Hal, just fling him into the sun, and then of course the rest of the Green Lantern Corps shows up just in the nick of time to save Hal from fighting and flowing into the sun. I'm like, what the fuck were you guys? Right? It's just, come on.
Yeah, that movie was poorly executed in a lot of ways.
Come on.
And plus, Ryan Reynolds should have never been Green Lantern. He should have been Wally West, but that's another story.
Yeah, no, I agree. He'd have been a great Wally West. Hal Jordan, no.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm on board with the Parallax because last week I was, telling you that I firmly believe that Parallax is probably one of the worst in both animated and live action, because
Yeah.
the animated version of Parallax that they did nothing other than ruin the character of Hal Jordan for a one-shot movie in a universe that was set to die in the current DC Tomorrowverse. Because guess what? Jon Stewart didn't do jack shit else after they propped him up in his solo flick there. They didn't do a follow-up story, and he had like 5 minutes of screen time in the new Crisis movie where he does basically nothing.
Right.
It's like, and you ruined Hal Jordan for that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's my pick. Like I said, I'm not even a huge Lantern fan. I'm not a fan of the Corps to any great degree. I have my favorites. I like Jon Stewart. I like Star Sapphire. But as a whole, it's not my big interest. And, I was excited for a Green Lantern movie because I hadn't seen one. And I thought, wow, what an imaginative thing they can do. Imagine if you will, because that's the whole point of the ring, all the cool stuff that he can make. And we got a racetrack.
Yeah. And a racetrack and some gloves, which he always does do gloves in the comics.
Sure,
too.
and that's fine. But I mean, give me a fucking break.
Yeah, and when he was fighting Parallax, he was like catapulting tractor trailers at him and blowing them up the air. I'm like, dude, just shoot him with a giant fucking green rocket. Why do you gotta like catapult? Why are you destroying property? Just shoot him with your green rocket shit. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think we're learning a theme here. There's a common theme around all these different shows we've been doing is that I think some of the worst DC movies of all time, you got to put Batman and Robin in there. Is that Batman and Robin or Batman Forever? I think it's Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin. Superman 4 and Green Lantern. All three of those movies are like the trifecta of doom, I think.
Catwoman.
Catwoman too, yeah.
I was really expecting Sekju to go with Nuclear Man.
Well, the only reason I didn't go with Nuclear Man is because when I was a kid, I thought it was the coolest thing ever that Superman had somebody of equal power. Because in the third movie, I just thought it was lame that the people up against it really enjoyed Superman 2. So having him fight a pseudo clone that was almost like a bizarre was awesome. So for me, it was hard to like look at it and say, "Oh, this is total shit." Knowledge it is as an adult. So yeah, I mean, there's no the thing with Nuclear Man, no expectations because he's a comic book character after he was created. Like they turned him into a character now, but whenever he was a character they just made up for the movie, it's like, okay, he's just some random made up character. So I guess I don't know. There's no expectation there. Whereas like the other characters, we have an expectation for Mr. Freeze. We have an expectation for Bane. We have an expectation for Parallax. I don't really have an expectation for Enchantress, but again, it is some precedent out there to be met. Right. So that's why I didn't go with the Nuclear Man.
Okay, I can appreciate that, Big. I mean, even though he's not your typical or true comic book character, okay. I mean, there are plenty of examples of that going throughout the comics. I mean, Harley Quinn was never a comic book character.
Right. I'm just explaining. I didn't pick him because he wasn't at the time. He wasn't actually a comic book character. Now he is because they made him. But I think it's only in like a one-off. It's not like he's become popular like Harley Quinn.
Right? No, yeah. Nuclear
he's a
Man
chunk of a character now.
With the power of fingernails to scratch you.
Yeah, scratchy fingernails that are going to irradiate you. Look out.
Jeez Louise, Papa Cheese. Oh boy, that's funny shit.
All right, so now we got to hear Biff's alternates.
Yeah, we got to hear what Biff's alternates
are. So I won't even go into anything. And by the way, I don't think any of them need any explanation. Quickly, William Shatner's portrayal of Two-Face in the animated Batman 66 was fucking awful.
Yeah.
Maxwell Lord in Wonder Woman 88.
Oh yeah.
Was fucking brutal.
He was one of my
picks. Be better.
Yeah. And Jared Leto Joker just ick.
Yeah.
Damaged goods.
Yeah. Daggone, that was on my favorite list.
Really?
No.
Okay.
No, but so I do like his portrayal in some of the parts of that Joker because it was showing how truly insane he was when it would do the special effects of like how his mind was twisted. But I understand completely that the portrayal of Joker itself was bad, but it's supposed to be a different Joker, not the one we're used to.
I understand, but you know what? You know what got him on that alternate list is how many good portrayals of Joker there are.
I gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like Joker is one of those characters that is really good when you do it right.
Yeah.
And so it's even more disappointing when you do it bad.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Hello, Miss Junk. Welcome aboard.
I'm so sorry. For some reason, I thought it started at 1, even though it's never started at 1. Yeah.
It's okay. You made it.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Actually, I wasn't feeling up to AB's hurtful joke at my expense. That was the
You just waited till it was over.
Right. I'm a delicate, dainty little daisy popping through the grass.
Just a delicate flower.
And his foot comes down, just crushing everything about me.
I don't even know if I had
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. If I ever get that sensitive, then yeah.
All right, so we are at the tail end. You've come in right at the tail end
Yes.
of the most hated villain, or least accurate or worst portrayed,
Okay.
least favorite villain portrayed in a DC movie, animated or live action.
Yes. Yes. I know. I have mine.
So
Let's
your
have it.
opinion?
My most hated villain in the DCU is Joss Whedon.
Perfect.
I'm sorry. I'm
Perfect.
sorry. There are so
Right
many.
there.
I mean, Jared Leto as the Joker could have been a good one. Ezra Miller. I'm sure someone said Ezra Miller. Who'd you guys pick? Who did you guys pick so far as a recap?
I picked Arnold as Mr. Freeze.
Okay, that was a good one. Yeah, he was terrible.
I went with Cara Delevingne as Enchantress.
Ooh, yeah, another terrible villain.
And
I had the portrayal of Bane in Batman and Robin
Oh yeah. Ooh,
as that
ooh, that was so bad. That was so
goofy.
bad.
Yeah.
And
That
then
whole movie was so bad. I mean, that movie ruined Batman for decades.
I still love it for how terrible it is.
Do you really?
Yeah, because the lines are just so corny and cheesy.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something I'll set aside time to watch specifically, but if it's on TNT, absolutely, I'll leave it on.
Oh, it's almost like Schwarzenegger not only starred but wrote the script.
right? All the puns and one-liners.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like that. Like, remember Last Action Hero and some of the bad jokes in that?
yeah.
Oh, I love that movie. See, I love terrible movies.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Well, I
No,
do
but
too. I mean, I love like all
Last
the
Action
Roger
Hero?
Corman movies and like the Sharknado movies. The really bad movies, but you just love them for some stupid reason.
My favorite Arnold movie is True Lies.
all right.
Lies is a good one.
It
I
is.
was watching Running Man on like TBS or something when I found out my dad died.
I
Yeah.
love Running Man.
Oh.
Yeah, so now I watch it all the time just to remind me.
Something to cheer you up.
Yeah, why not? No, but Joss Whedon, I mean, he has it all. I mean, look how bad you have to screw up a movie to make it so everyone demands that there's no trace of it left in the universe. And he's a sexual harasser, a serial sexual harasser. There's tons of racism accusations. I mean, like all these are allegedly. I know he's listening now, and as someone who loved Buffy, Joss, I appreciate
And
your early
Angel.
work. And yes. But allegedly, he, sexual harassment, racism, and I think once at the end when Cyborg said "booyah," that's when every Zack Snyder fan immediately just said, "Nope, not having it." I'm starting a hashtag now to get every trace of this removed from the internet.
Like, who is he saying that to anyway?
I don't know.
Superman? I don't know.
I think probably Flash, probably Barry
Yeah, I think
Allen.
he.
Or
don't
just in the
remember.
plane, just like a
He was just
booyah.
laying on the ground, like getting up from after they exploded the mother boxes or whatever, and then he's making the joke about how I can't feel my toes, and I don't even know how that's possible because they're machine toes. You wouldn't feel them, I would assume. Or he said my toes hurt. That's what he said. Yeah, I don't know.
Right, Phantom Pain.
Yeah,
This chunk brings up a really good point that none of us even had Ezra Miller.
Really?
How did that?
Well, it said
I can tell you if
said
Whitney
villain.
was here.
Well,
if
he
Whitney
was.
here.
Yeah, he was a villain in the movie.
Yeah, I guess. I guess.
Oh no,
And in real life.
we're on villains. That's why. No, it's not.
He was a villain. He was a villain in was he Reverse Flash in the
but
Oh, kind of like
Black Flash. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that he's the one who basically tried to keep Barry in the
Yeah.
He was a villain in the Harry Potter prequel movies or whatever. There you go. That's good enough.
No, but he was a villain. I mean, I consider sure, he came through at the end, but like like the character that was a villain saved himself from his future self, which was a villain. So I mean,
Right.
I think I don't know.
It was the redemption arc for that villain.
Yeah. But Jared Leto, I still think if we were going with with people on screen, Jared Leto was absolutely my least favorite of any villain ever. I can't stand that so much. His character in that movie was so bad.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, and if you listen to Jared Leto talk about it, he's pissed about it because he thinks all of his best shit was left on the cutting room floor, and we'll never know.
Yeah, because didn't he say there was so much footage between him and Harley that they could have made a whole movie based off just that was cut?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also like I mean, I hear everyone just hated him, like method acting. This
Oh,
this
yeah, he was
bullshit
real-
of like mailing rats to people, like, oh, you're so edgy,
Yeah, it's like what the fuck ever.
idiot.
Yeah,
Ugh.
idiot. That's exactly what he is.
Yeah. Why don't you method act like your band doesn't suck?
30 Seconds to Mars. Um, that's
I know I'm the odd man out, but I still kind of like him a little bit because it was a completely different Joker and he didn't try and copy anybody else. That's the reason I kind of like it.
Yeah. Well, fuck you, Retmus.
Well, you know what? Fine.
fuck you and everybody that looks like you.
Yeah. Whoa.
Wow. Oh, oof.
Whoa.
See, that's what
That
I'm glad I
escalated
missed that
quickly.
joke. I'm glad I
think
missed that
your
opening
head
joke.
just
Oof.
turned completely around.
I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding.
It's
No.
okay. That's one less person to take off my Christmas list.
I just thought we were having fun.
Right. I'm just trying to be a villain in Retmus's game. That's all. That's all.
That's fine. That's fine. But we all have our own opinions and our own perceptions of characters, and that's the reason that I don't rate it as him as the complete worst one ever, because he might not have done a great job in the movie, but he tried to do a different take on a character and not copy someone else. So that's why I give him a point for that.
My biggest problem, I think, is that I think the Joker, more than anything, is a personality. Has this
Right.
larger than life personality and of a performative personality. And here he was just trying to be like this quiet, tough guy who was like,
Yeah.
and it just,
Well, I think he was
that's
trying
what I
to-
just like.
I think he was
but
trying
I
to
get what you're
take
saying.
the Joker from like the Killing Joke, that
Mm-hmm.
type of version that was just completely just like mental, and he just killed and he didn't care. So anyway, enough
Maybe,
about that.
yeah. Even that, I feel like I don't know. Yeah. I did see, I was watching a YouTube clip, one of those shorts about and it just the synopsis about how, the time Batman killed Joker because to keep Superman from doing it in the comics. I don't know if you remember, like there was this point where Superman was about to kill the Joker because he said that, like, one of these days I'll get Lois, and he was going to kill him. And then Batman says, "No, Clark, let me take him in." And Superman said something along the lines of, "No, your way of handling him hasn't worked." And then but Batman takes him in the car. He starts to take him to jail. And the Joker says something like, "Yeah, I'll get back at them, and if I don't, I'll get their daughter," or something like that. And then Batman turned around and snapped his neck.
Oh,
Mm.
shit.
There's
Yeah.
another story, I think, where they're like in an amusement park. It might be, I don't remember.
That was Killing Joke. The amusement park
Wasn't it Killing Joke? And then
Yeah.
they like in the Tunnel of Love or something. and
No,
then
that's the Dark Knight Returns.
yeah, he
Tunnel of
snaps
Love.
he
Snaps
snaps
his own neck.
Joker's neck there, doesn't he?
Oh, he's
And
Joker's
kill him.
I thought the Joker breaks his own neck
Yeah,
the rest of the way or
Oh,
something.
is that what it was?
Yeah, like
Okay.
he punches him and his neck's like half broken and he's like, "Finish me off," and Batman's like, "I won't do it," and he's like, and then he like twists his head and breaks his own neck. So then everyone assumes that Batman did it and makes him a vigilante for some reason, because he always has been one.
Right.
But for some reason, Gotham is extra mad that he decided to finally murder the Joker. Go figure.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Never mind the mutant gangs that are destroying the city. We're really upset that you murdered the Joker, who had just killed like an entire like recording studio full of people. Like
Yeah.
you think they'd be high-fiving Batman as
you
he comes
killed
out
the
of
bad
tunnel.
guy.
Yeah, like
No more stories, man.
Having a city that hates the fact that you killed a murderous crime boss seems like a Republican's take on Portland. Like that's the thing. Think Portland is, they're so liberal that they hate when killing a vigilante, killing a murderer. I don't know.
he could have been rehabilitated.
Right?
In our
The death penalty's
former
wrong
prison system.
in all instances.
You guys seen that show?
That's what makes Adam West so good.
Yeah.
He would never
Show
kill.
Portlandia. You guys know what I'm talking about? That show Portlandia.
Yeah. Was it?
Dream of
Adam
the
West?
Dream is
Was
a
Adam
lot.
West in it or something? Or
No.
oh
I just thought it was a cool show. You were talking about.
yeah, Portland. Yeah. Wonderful
Whenever you
tents.
say Port, that's what I think of is Portland, is that Portlandia. So
Yeah.
anyways,
The great Fred Armisen.
Fred Armisen. Let's talk a little bit about our favorite. In other words, what we think is the best DC villain portrayals across films. This is animated or live action. And I'm just curious. I'm actually going to start with, you know what? I'm going to start with Retpmus again. I'm going to pick on him again. Always going to start with you now. You know that, right?
All right, I got
Don't you
that.
fucking steal mine, Retmus.
Well, mine's kind of like between two. I couldn't really decide of like who I liked as the best villain. Like portrayal, the actor, portraying that character itself. I really like two, and I'll tell you why real quick. Heath Ledger's Joker. And the reason I like Heath Ledger's Joker is because he portrayed a mentally unstable person. The way that he would constantly give different reasons why his face was, mutilated like it was, and it never was the same story twice. It just kind of like fit the situation. So he was showing how he was a true genius manipulating people, but yet still crazy at the same time. I really, really enjoyed his portrayal. And the second one would be Tom Hardy's Bane, because he didn't portray Bane as a mindless brute. He portrayed him as an intelligent person. I mean, it wasn't, I'm a super powerful guy and I'm just going to break your back and it's over. I mean, he actually had intellectual conversations, with his foes or with anybody that he communicated with. And it was just showing that, it was intelligence and not just brute force as well. I just like both portrayals of those two, and that's why they make my top pick.
I can't really find fault with either one of those. I think Tom Hardy's Bane is great. Um, do I think it's to the level that I would like it to be still? Maybe not, but tastes vary. So I'll ask the rest of the crew. What do you guys think?
I love that choice. I love that choice.
I like both of them. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what I said earlier about why I don't like Jared Leto is the Joker just has so many good portrayals
Yeah.
that I think when a bad one happens, it's amplified.
Yeah.
And there are just so many Jokers that could be on the best list. I had written down four in my initial brainstorming list. 4 different Jokers to possibly be on this list. I mean, that's pretty fabulous.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And I did like Bane, and by the way, that portrayal of Bane is why I hated the portrayal of Bane in Batman and Robin so much. Because Bane is not a mindless brute. Bane is a intellectual. Yes, he's muscular. Yes, he has power. But he's also bright, not fucking Frankenstein in a Bane costume.
yeah. Comparing those two Banes is like comparing a tiger to a great white shark. There's no universe where the two of them would even match up. So
Yeah, it's like comparing Jared Leto with Cesar Romero. Like they're just completely different portrayals of the same character.
30 Seconds to Mars. God.
You don't listen to 30 Seconds to Mars and Kiss?
No, imagine that. They're two worlds apart.
Yep.
But no. But so let me ask you then, Mr. I'll break the monotony up. I'll ask Miss Junk, what is your favorite portrayal of a DC villain?
All right, I think we should go to someone else. I have a couple thoughts. All right, there are a couple my favorite villains. I don't know if that's I was gonna say Jack Nicholson actually, because it was at the time it was so different from what we'd seen as Batman and as a Joker. And superheroes were so light at the time. All we had was Superman, the movie Superman. But meanwhile, the comic book, like the Frank Miller was just out previous, like a few years before that. And it was so dark. And the fact that Nicholson was it was such a change of pace from what we were used to. That's why that was my favorite at the time. I think since I agree, I think Heath Ledger played a great Joker too. I think Jack Nicholson deserved an Oscar nomination for it, but he didn't get it. The other one, I mean, there's Frank Gorshin as the Riddler in the first series. I love that. I thought they could have when the Robert Pattinson Batman, when they had the Riddler as the Zodiac killer. I thought that was such an interesting new take. It wasn't at all like the character, but I thought it was interesting. But I think and the other one that I really like, and you guys are all gonna hate this, in Teen Titans, there is a Santa Claus. Santa Claus is a villain. In Teen Titans Go, Santa Claus is a villain. And it's the funniest thing I think I've ever seen.
Is that
But I'll go with,
Titans Go?
what's that? Teen
that
Titans
the
Go, yeah.
Go?
The cartoon. Santa Claus is a
But that's a
villain.
that's a show. That's a TV show, not a movie.
Okay,
Correct.
Yes. Oh, I thought we were doing TV shows or movies.
No, just
okay.
movies.
Just movie.
Okay.
But it's all good. We'll
Alright.
Save that for the next episode.
Oh no, I can't wait. I can't wait for the TV show one. My list is done.
There's
Oh,
so
okay,
many
okay.
terrible villains in TV shows.
Oh.
Though.
Oh.
Good God.
I
The
know.
Flash
Oh.
alone, we could take up 3 weeks doing
Oh.
just the Flash.
Well,
Smallville,
we're gonna get to
Smallville
that one.
villains.
Oh,
Yeah,
good Lord.
Smallville.
Freaks of the weeks.
Oh,
We're gonna get
Yeah.
that one here in just another.
That'll be so hard to do that one.
Yeah.
so but
Maybe
anyway,
like a 10-part episode.
but I guess if we're doing TV shows, I can't say Frank Gorshin, even though the Batman movie does exist. He wasn't really, he wouldn't be my favorite based on that portrayal. So I guess it has to be Jack Nicholson.
There you go.
Choice?
Nicholson it is. And that's a great choice too, because
Yes.
no, you're right. He really did set a different tone than his predecessor did on
Right.
television.
Right. And Batman itself was dark, but I don't think it would have been nearly as dark if not for him.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
not for Nicholson and the Joker. And granted, the story arc of the Joker was so dark, but I mean, he really brought it out, I think.
That kind of makes me think of the way things are perceived, because if you would look at Adam West portrayal of Batman, that would be a horrible portrayal of a Batman if you referred it to what the comic book source was, because at that
Mhm.
time Batman actually killed people with guns too. So it would be if we were back then, we'd be like, that's a horrible one. That's not even how Batman is. But of course, Adam West just did it so well, and everybody loves it, and it's fantastic. But it's just all about perception. I mean, it truly is.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say, but
So sorry.
no. Oh, I know what I was going to say. If you like the Nicholson Joker and all that good stuff, Vice has a show called Icons Unearthed, and it is there's a series called Batman Unearthed, and it basically goes through everything from Adam West all the way to today. So if you are so inclined, you might want to check that out. Get on your DVR or get onto your subscriber and see if it's on demand somewhere.
And it's on Vice.
Vice, yes, VICE, Vice TV.
Okay.
I love Vice TV. I watch more Vice TV now than anything else. Dark Side of the Ring, and
I've been watching.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Freevee on Amazon.
yeah,
Because they have everything. They have all the Hercules and the Xena, and I mean all the old cool stuff. And that's why everything's there. I don't think there's something I can't find. I mean, I even found Gene Roddenberry's Earth Final Conflict every single episode.
wow.
Yeah, it's got everything. Yeah, you have to watch a few commercials here and there, but it's free.
Yeah. I don't mind commercials because they give me a chance to get up and go to the bathroom. So at my age, that is welcome invitation.
Oh, good commercial time.
It's like, oh my God,
I can uncross my legs.
you have no idea. The pain is real. The struggle is
Yep.
real, folks.
Give that prostate a chance to shine.
Okay, who's next? Sekju. I think you haven't gone yet, have you?
No, I have not.
Well, then let's give your pick, buddy.
I'm going to go the animated route. And I'm going to pick Brainiac from Superman Unbound for 2 reasons. Number one, actually 3 reasons. So number one, Brainiac's just an awesome villain, and we haven't really had a great live action portrayal yet, but I feel like this animated one was really, really good. It's one of my favorite modern stories for Superman is that one that whole movie is based off of. That comic was great, and it has some great art and great storytelling, so that's another reason. And then also, John Noble fucking rules, and he voices Brainiac in that movie. So I feel like the combination of his voice and that character brings a gravitas to it, and just the way that he's just a cold, calculating bastard like Brainiac should be in that movie is so good. So that's why I picked that
I
one.
love John Noble. Fringe is one of my all-time favorite shows.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
his one-liners
Or
like
Denethor.
I gotta go tinkle right now, or he just looks right at Olivia and goes, I've got an erection, but don't worry, dear, it's not because of you.
Yeah. Always taking LSD. Old
Wait,
Oh yeah.
wait, you don't mean the Brainiac from the Challenge of the Super Friends
No. That's
in the
not
hot
no,
pants? In the hot pants?
Hot pants.
Wait,
No,
did you,
no.
what'd you think of the Brainiac portrayal in the TV show Krypton? Did you?
I thought it was okay. I mean, it wasn't bad, but I Krypton, I just didn't like that show as a whole.
Yeah, me
Um,
either.
But I thought that like the makeup and everything that they did for that Brainiac was pretty decent for a sci-fi show. And I thought the portrayal was okay. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Aw,
Yeah, I know. I'm being visited. Hello, girl. Come on.
you're wearing matching colors.
Yeah, yeah. All she needs is a blue collar. Where are we now? Is it just
Biff.
Biff? Biff.
Yeah.
Biff.
And you.
S-
And you.
So, yeah. So I will agree with Miss Junk. I had Jack Nicholson,
Okay.
and I
Sorry.
had four that I really
Four.
I had four that I couldn't decide between. So I'll
Challenge.
get no. But I'll give my the way I did my three honorable mentions. I'll do that after you go.
Okay.
But I decided to give the nod to Jack Nicholson because of what Miss Junk said. It was just
Yeah.
it was a great portrayal of the Joker that was new. He was excellent, and he should have been at least nominated for an Oscar. But yeah, it's what we've been talking about this whole time. There are so many good Jokers.
Yeah.
I wrote down four. I wrote down Heath Ledger. I wrote down Jack Nicholson. I wrote down the one that did get nominated for an Oscar in the Joker movie that was obviously very dark, like Retpmus said before, as someone with severe mental things. And quite frankly, Cesar Romero, I just didn't put him in here because the movie was just so bad.
Yeah. What about Mark Hamill? Did you think about putting him in?
Mark Hamill.
Well, but that would be
Register.
that's TV.
Yeah.
No, but he was in
No,
the.
he was the Joker. He voiced the Joker in Batman
yeah.
animated series.
Yeah.
But he also
Saying like
voiced it
Mask
in
of the Phantasm or something like that, or
No,
and
he was in that one.
killing. He was in the Killing Joke.
oh yeah, fair enough.
The Killing Joke. He's also in Batman Beyond's film Return of the Joker. So, which that is a fantastic portrayal, if you ask me.
Didn't even think of those ones. That's a good point.
But
A
yeah,
lot of good Jokers.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
And everybody likes to play the villain.
Plus, he's an over the top villain, and I think that gives an actor a chance to really go crazy.
yeah. Oh yeah. Like Ian McDermott when he played Emperor Palpatine. Like that was just so over the top and stupid. It was great, you know. But anyways, I want to start a Star Wars talk. Let's keep it DC. Gosh, is it my turn?
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep a theme. I'm going to have a different person here, but I'm going to keep a theme, and it's actually the same theme as Miss Junk outlined previously, and even Biff to a certain degree. I'm going to take a second generation iteration of a character, of a beloved character that this person had a steep hill to climb in order to get to this point with me, but not only did they climb that hill, but they exceeded that expectation. And that is Michael Shannon's General Zod.
Oh, wow.
If you would not have had a villain as compelling and good as General Zod was in that first film, I don't think you would have set the DCEU up as well as it was when it was just that solo film. There's somebody, we can talk about how they fumbled the ball all day long, but it was almost like they were handed it on a silver platter. Here you go. You have a great first movie, an introduction to your whole universe. You had a great first villain. You had it all hinged on the success of that movie, and that movie would not have been as successful as it was. And it was successful.
Oh, yeah.
If you had not had a compelling villain. And what Michael Shannon did was crank it up to 11. Whereas I love Terrence Stamp, and what Terrence Stamp brought to that role was awesome. I love Superman 2 to this day just because of him. Well, there are other parts of that film I like. I'm a big fan of the Donner cut, not so much the theatrical cut, but
Same here.
You don't like the big cellophane S?
No, I don't understand. Or the memory kiss, you know.
How about the mysterious hand beams that make
Yeah,
people levitate?
yeah, the levitation point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, what he brought to the role was a gravitas, and I'll give you a couple of examples. There was a scene at the opening of that film that, more so than anything else he did, really drove home this guy's determination to see the continuing of his people when he was getting sucked up into that big dick, that big plastic dick that they shot him up into the space with, and everyone else is like, scared. I don't want to get plasticked, I want to get dildoed or whatever. Zod is like, fucking dildo me, bitch. He's like staring at it like, do it. It's like, fuck you, assholes. I'm doing this. Fuck. I'm gonna find him. It even says I'll find him.
It's like I'll take one finger to start, but be ready for two.
Right. He's on the road. I mean, tell me they're not. They look like dicks, did they not?
Yes,
These
they
look like
did.
giant flying little dicks. Yeah.
All the tiny dicks. It's like the Phantom Zone getting fucked. There you go. Anyways, but that was because he knew what was going to happen. He was going to be in the Phantom Zone, and Krypton was going to explode, and there was nothing he could do about it. Just pissed off motherfucker, and that informed the rest of him throughout that whole movie. The way that he was calculated and cunning, the way that he approached it with a sterile sort of, beneath me approach to humanity that, was completely juxtaposed to Clark's, down home, country fried, shucks darn it, this farm boy shtick.
Yeah. The military, like you really felt like he was like a military leader.
Yeah. And I can't say enough good things about it. I've probably gone on way too long about it, but I can't say enough good things about Michael Shannon.
He was great.
Of General Zod in Man of Steel. I think that his portrayal helped launch more films for this franchise that ultimately didn't do anywhere, but neither here nor there. Anyways, that's my take. I'm going to ramble. I'm going to stop rambling.
All right. No, that's good. I'll segue into my honorable mentions.
Oh, there you go.
By saying Terrence Stamp.
There we go.
As Superman 2, General Zod is one of my honorable mentions for best DC movie villain. I thought he was fantastic. I'll also give an honorable mention to Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn in numerous films. I think she is very good. And the last one, which I absolutely love this portrayal because it brought me back to Frank Gorshin. It brought me back to goofy, laughing Riddler. And that's Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
Oh.
I thought he was fantastic. There's no better casting for a goofy Riddler than Jim Carrey.
Yeah, it was going to be Robin Williams, supposedly. That was like the rumor.
Oh, really?
He was going to be
Okay.
Riddler in the second one, but then they changed it and went with Penguin and Catwoman. By the way, Michelle
during that
Pfeiffer.
time, I think Mike Myers could have did a great job as well.
Yeah. I think I think Jim Carrey's better is the movements. Okay. There's a reason why Jim Carrey was the only white person in the history of In Living Color.
Yeah.
That
Physical
guy,
comedy.
oh yeah, no, just the way he moves and like just him twisting his little cane and all those movements.
Like his mannerisms altogether. Yeah.
Didn't he
Just
get I think he got his original start because he could like manipulate his face.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
he
he-
could like stretch it and make it
He
and
did what he
contort
called
it.
he did what he called face impressions on Johnny Carson. That was one of his first big breaks. So he would do like an impression of like Clint Eastwood and Jack Nicholson and all these people, but he would only contort his face to look like them, not even the voice. Like sometimes he would do the voice, but you're right. You're absolutely right.
Miss Junk, you'll appreciate this. I heard a story once. It's one of the funniest stories I've ever heard. And it was around what's his name? His name just David Spade.
Yes.
Okay.
He told a story about how he had a stand-up gig in Hawaii a long time before he was really famous. And he had this week-long gig in stand-up. in Hawaii that was a really good gig. But he got called back for a tryout for In Living Color. Okay. And he didn't know who he was up against, but he knew he wasn't really good at that kind of comedy. And it basically turns out it was him versus Jim Carrey.
Oh wow.
And he had to give up the gig in Hawaii to take that last callback. And he's so funny. He says, if you'd told me it was Jim Carrey, I would have just stayed in Hawaii. Like, I have one character. It's like Michael J. Fox. Jim Carrey has 10 million characters. But it's a really funny story about the casting for In Living Color with Jim Carrey. And I think that's, if you look at Jim Carrey on that show, you see a lot of that in the Riddler. And the way he moves, the way he just captured the screen every single time he was on it in that movie.
I saw David Spade once at I think it was the Laugh Factory in LA. The Laugh Factory, the Improv, one of the two. They basically have two rooms. There's a hallway between the rooms, and that's where the restrooms are. So I'm going to the restroom, and then I see like this like 6 foot tall, like blonde, maybe 90-pound model walk in, and with this little tiny guy next to her. And they walk right up to the poster of David Spade, point at it. Then I look, sure enough, it's David Spade just pointing at the poster of himself to show up to this model. I was like, oh, I mean, I guess, all right, you know.
Hey, listen, fame allows you to punch up.
I guess so. I
Yeah,
guess
it does.
And I'm
There
just
you
like, yeah, but like, do you need to show a poster of yourself at that point? I mean, come on.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, that
I think the deal was sealed.
I think that's how Billy Joel landed Christy Brinkley.
Showing a poster of himself.
Yeah, just
Showing I was like, look at this. They make
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, this is how good I could look with airbrushing
Right.
I'm looking
versus
for
what I
an
look like now.
I'm looking for an uptown girl. What do you think? I'm
It's
playing
like
the
that,
garden.
It's like that episode of South Park where they all like Photoshop themselves. And, like,
Yes.
they're like, look at my girlfriend. They're like, what? They're like, nobody actually looks at them. They just look at the picture on their phone.
And they're like, oh, I'm so jealous.
God. All right, gang. Well, we've had a fantastic discussion today, but I think it's time to take it around for everybody's last word today. And I want to start with Mr. Retmus. Go for it, pal. Give us your bottom line, pal.
I would just simply say, enjoy yourself, have some fun, don't take things too seriously. And that's really about it. I mean, nothing super special, just have some fun. Enjoy the holiday weekend.
Yes, get out there and enjoy the holiday weekend. Anybody who wants to come over and mow my lawn, they're more than welcome.
How'd you like to mow my lawn?
Are you gonna fly me out?
I will if you mow my
Yeah.
lawn. That's all I want is someone to come mow my lawn, people. Maybe
Do
20
you have a
bucks.
riding mower?
How big is your
Oh,
yard?
I have a push mower. It's not very big.
Buy a goat.
There you go.
That's an
Natural.
idea.
I just pictured just AB as the judge in Caddyshack. How'd you like to mow my lawn?
Great movie villain.
Yes, exactly. Movie villain.
Ted Knight.
My God. Well, thank you, Retmus. We appreciate it, buddy. Biff, tell it like it is, pal.
Yeah, I'll just very quickly, I'll just say Happy Memorial Day. As much as I know this is going to be appreciated and well received, I can see you shaking your head already. Mr. AB, thank you very much for your service.
Wow,
Awesome.
way to really take a chance with that one, Biff.
Yeah.
Oh God, he hates it.
He hates it so much.
Oh, he hates it.
Hate it
And I tell him every freaking military holiday.
every day.
I don't know why it bothers you, AB. I mean, when people tell me that, it doesn't bother me.
Well, I don't know.
If I mow your lawn, will you thank me for your service, for my service?
I will. I will gladly do that. No, you know, the reason I don't want to get into it today. It's a long discussion.
He's humble.
Discussion. You know, and it's a very personal thing.
I gotcha.
And you know, if I could summarize it, basically it comes down to the fact that if somebody is compelled to thank me for my service, then I didn't do my job.
I gotcha. Well, this is the way I look at it. I had that same perspective, but the way I look at it when people thank me, I'm just like, well, what they're really doing is thanking you because they didn't do it or they didn't step up to do it. They're thanking you for doing it when no one else would.
Sure.
That's the way I always take it.
That's the way I do it. My dad was in the Marines. My grandfather was in the Marines. I never viewed myself as tough enough to do that. And when I meet people that were tough enough and took that to protect the country, I view it. I just like Retpmus said, I view it more as a knocking myself versus anything, versus just saying you had the courage to take a chance. You had a courage to put your life on the line. I never had that courage. And that's why if I say thank you, I was walking out of the grocery store the other day and there was a VFW at the front, like taking like donations or whatever. And I had my salute to service Dallas Cowboys sweatshirt on and it has a big, American flag on the shoulder. And the guy was like, "Oh, thank you for your service." I'm like, "Oh, no. I gotta get out of here."
Yeah.
I can't even tell this guy that.
Did you donate?
I am so, yes, I did.
Oh, good.
Because I felt so bad because I was
Guilt
just like, oh my
donation.
God, this guy thinks my football sweatshirt is a, just because I have a buzz cut doesn't exactly mean I was a Marine.
Right.
So,
No.
but happy Memorial Day.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. I just don't want it to get to a point and look, it's tough because I see it happen all the time. People give lip service to this shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm not trying to say anything negative about, what we talk about here or, people on the street, but you do that stuff way too many times. And I mean, not you specifically. I mean, you as in the royal you, as in the public.
Yeah.
He means me.
Way too much, way too often. And it permeates society to the point where it creates this almost deification of the military to a large number of people. And to me, that's dangerous because we should never be looked at like that. I should never be viewed like that. I'm not above you in any way, shape, or form. I'm just like you. I'm just a dude.
I don't view it as above.
No.
I just view it as you had the courage to do something I didn't, and I thank you for that.
It's just you did a job. And see, like when I
doing GRC work,
well, okay, you thank the people that do the sewage work so you don't have to go down there and dig in that ditch. Thanks, man, for doing that. You thank a plumber for fixing your pipes because you don't have the knowledge to do it. They're just thanking someone for doing the job, so because they didn't or no one else they knew could step up to do it. That's all it really is
I think
in my mind.
I think it's more emotional because the military protects us.
Yeah, and then look how they treat our veterans.
Right. No, I know.
Well,
yeah.
We could get into that too, but I'll save that. Maybe we'll do a whole show on this. Maybe we'll do a serious show and we'll make people cry.
We'll do. Yeah.
I don't know.
Terrence Stamp as a Marine veteran.
We'll get John Stewart on here.
All right. Thank you, Biff. I don't want to dwell on this.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Who's next? Sekju. What about your bottom line, pal?
Well, since you don't want to be thanked for service, I'll take you down a peg. You're welcome for my tax dollars. Anyway. No, but in all seriousness, much appreciation for the military that just trying to, offer counterpoint, but appreciate everything that everyone's done for us, and won't say thank you for it, but appreciate it. And I hope everyone just enjoys the weekend with their families, if they have families to spend them with. If not, hopefully friends or somebody to share that time with, since it is a long weekend for many people.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's all you got.
Yeah, I gotta get off here and go make some brownies. So
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
gotta keep
Uh-oh.
myself regular.
You gotta make your shit brownies. All right.
Yeah. Shits and giggles brownies.
That's right. Sekju's making new brownies. He's going to put laxative in them and call them shits and giggles.
There's weed in them too.
Yeah, weed brownies. Yeah.
If that
What's
wasn't
that?
inferred.
Right.
But yes, thank you very much, Sekju. We appreciate you, pal. And last but not least, I'm going to give the final word to Miss Junk. Go for it, girl.
Well, thank you. First of all, show up on time. If you have anything to do, make sure you show up on time. That's the first thing. No, I think obviously happy Memorial Day to everyone. One thing that I think this conversation it makes me realize, and I don't know how this goes to life goals, but how important a villain is to a story. Like how great I think a movie is as good as the villain sometimes. And I think you saw that with some of the Spider-Man movies. I think you saw that with that. So I have appreciation for the villains, and just for that, I'm going to rob a bank when I get home, and just to help the story move forward.
Well,
No, it's great to see you guys again. I hope to see some barbecue pictures from you. I know some of you will have the barbecue out today. So enjoy yourselves. Don't set off fireworks if you live in a city, or at least on my block. And yeah.
there you go.
People
You
do
heard.
fireworks on Memorial Day? I didn't think that was a firework.
They
Was
do
it?
it on Tuesdays. So I mean, it's
Fair.
just they do it all the time. It's
Yeah, there are a lot
yeah.
of people that
It-
will take any excuse to
any
blow their own hand off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything they can do. Well,
But if you do have an accident, put it on Instagram.
That's right. Or get on Discord and share it with us so we can laugh.
Yes.
I'm kidding. I hope everybody stays safe this weekend. And with that, I will wrap this thing up. We want to thank all of you for taking the time to be with us today. Get on our website, atlantisafterdark.com. Grab some cool swag from the merch store. Get on Discord and talk directly with us. And then hit that subscribe button because you know you want to. For BIFF, for Sekju, for Retpmus and Miss Junk, we'll see you all right here next time for another fantabulous episode of Double AD. So long, everybody.